It's Friday night in the A, and you know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
Can y'all believe it is already week 14, college football onto the bowl season, and here we are hunkering down for the final countdown, the last 5 games of the season for the Falcons, at least for the regular season, question mark?
Time will tell on that one, yeah. No? We got to get through this weekend, though, first.
And it's a big one. This week, the Falcons host the Bucs in a game with huge NFC South implications. Despite losing 6 of their last 8 games, Tampa could still make some noise in this division race, but Atlanta looking to shut that down, kind of like they did this Sunday to the Jets. Let's huddle up about it.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
Of course, you know we got to start with the Dirty Birds defense, which is now the only team in the National Football League to not give up a touchdown in back-to-back games this season. That's 9 quarters in which an opponent has not found the end zone against the Falcons. This unit now a top 10 one in the league in terms of both yards and points allowed. Don't forget that it leads the league in red zone defense as well, allowing touchdowns on just 37% of opposing red zone drives. A lot of people talking about the Jets defense being one of the best coming into this season, but the South got something to say about that.
They sure do, and I spent a lot of time with the guys in the locker room after the game asking some of these Atlanta defenders, hey, what changed after that bye week? And so many guys gave credit to the coaching staff, defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen particularly, saying that they have done a fantastic job over the last 2 games of putting the individual pieces of this defense in the right position to make plays. That, and Calais Campbell probably said it best, they're playing for the postseason. That's all the juice you need.
That's a great point. Meanwhile, it was just the 3rd time this season that the Falcons' offense did not have a turnover. Yes, there were 3 fumbles, but they recovered them all. It was a crummy game weather-wise, so it's hard to say how much of that was kind of related, but or maybe a coincidence, but no turnovers is a step in the right direction. Maybe let's not go so far to say there was progress on offense, but what was kind of your takeaway from this offensive performance?
They did enough to win the game. Simple as that. But I think we're going to need to see a lot more from this offense with Tampa Bay coming to town. Look, when you saw the weather up in New York last weekend, you knew what type of game it was going to be. Messy, with the team who made the least amount of mistakes ultimately winning the game. I don't know if making less mistakes than the Jets should be a standard here. So I'm going to look forward to seeing how this Falcons offense builds upon what it did against the Saints 2 weeks ago, not necessarily the Jets last week.
Hey, you got to win the games that you're supposed to win. And they've got a chance to do that in a big division game this Sunday. This offense did not have an under-the-weather Bijan Robinson the last time it played Tampa Bay, but now he leads the Falcons on the ground with 756 rushing yards. A big part of that rushing attack that ranks 6th in the NFL in yards per game. On the other side of this, the Bucs have been better on the ground as well after just 73 rushing yards against Atlanta last time. And Tampa is very alive in this division race, as we talked about. Sunday's 21-18 win over the Panthers set the Bucs up for a chance to take over first place when they face the division-leading Falcons this Sunday at the Bend. So what about this matchup kind of intrigues you, Tori?
Honestly, how much the Falcons have evolved since the last time they faced the Bucs. I want to see a better, more complete team face the Bucs this time around than the last time. This is the first time the Falcons have faced a divisional opponent twice this year, so how much did they learn the last time they went up against each other? And how much growth can we see from that first game to where they are now? That, and I'm like everyone else too, what type of effect could Bijan Robinson have this time around? Sans migraine.
That's a good point. The lights always twinkle a little bit brighter in New York, especially at Christmas time. So you know the Falcons had to rise to the occasion with some fashion statements of their own coming off the bus. We are walking in, presented by Wells Fargo. First up, how about Terry Fontenot going full Peaky Blinders in this fit? The man always hits us with really nice suits, but this one really giving, Tori.
I know. Honestly, is this the first time we've seen Terry on this segment? Because if so, I'm glad that it came with a hat.
It's all about the accessories.
It's all because of the hat.
From the GM to the QB, the stunning suits kept on coming. I'm a big fan of the red and black because you got to make sure you know who you're playing for, right? Got to stay on brand. And if you look closely, you can see a two-tone kind of stripe action going on here for Desmond Ridder. Love that detail. But Tori, I'm an even bigger fan of the ice. Santa, bring me some diamonds like Des for Christmas?
Honestly, I wouldn't say no to that. I also love how Des never says no to the red and black color scheme. You really never have to wonder who he's playing for on Sundays, and that includes when he's walking in.
Finally, our guy CP really leveling up with the fits this year. And you know what? He's been in our Final Four almost every week. Yeah. He doesn't miss. He's not missing here with this puffer jacket. I mean, emphasis on the puff, so puffy. And then also a fun patterned shirt underneath the yellow kicks. The colors are visually satisfying and not clashing, just complementing, kind of like the backfield for the Falcons.
Oh, Kelly, I like where your head's at. We love complementary colors as much as we love complementary football. There we go.
Love it. Well, a lot of us got a deeper look at what it's like being a play caller when the Netflix series Quarterbacks came out last year. It was fun to see some of the terms and the words used, how they come up with these play calls. But then we also had to know, what is the weirdest play call the Dirty Birds have heard? And that is our question of the week.
Oh, God. I would probably have to say weirdest play call. I haven't had one, actually.
All been pretty straightforward?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad.
I don't know, defensive calls are pretty short sometimes, but you hear some offensive play calls.
I couldn't even understand what they're talking about over there. It's a different language.
You try to break that thing down, they out there saying full paragraphs,
Didn't make the play calling sheet, but we had a play going in and we were going to name it El Chapo.
And my coach, he kind of sat his clipboard down and he pointed at me. He's like, "You're getting the ball."
Oh, weirdest play call. Pounder.
That's it.
Pounder, that's it. We keep it simple on defense. That pounder, we coming.
I love the Bijan one. Just give the ball to Bijan is the name of the play.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
That's a good play call. All right, still to come. Are you wondering what to bring to your Christmas party, to an upcoming tailgate, what to make for your family get-together? We've got you. Stay tuned as we welcome Atlanta's own charcuterie chick in the nest later in the show.
Coming up later in the show, why Falcons fans stood in a long line wrapped around the corner and how it was an early Christmas to all involved. That story is coming up next.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bang. It's time to rise up Atlanta. Kelly and Tori are back on your home for Falcons football. Fox 5 Atlanta.
Falcons fans show up every week, but on Tuesday night, they waited a long time to make a difference. Luke Hetrick explains as we rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist.
Falcons coming after Carr. Picked off.
Normally, he toys with quarterbacks.
No question, pick six.
Today,
that means that we're doing something well.
Jesse Bates III, toys for tots.
Give away toys for his signature. Take the time out on, a Tuesday night. Means a lot.
Thank you. No problem, thank you.
Prize at the end of a very long, happy line is to meet JB3 and D.
Can't even describe it. It's like, it's almost like how I felt when I first signed to the Falcons, like another dream come true.
One shared by the players, the fans.
There's more to it besides what you see on the field. There are actual people like us who volunteer, who get back to the community, who show us that they're human.
And for the sole purpose of this night, those who need it most. Toys for Tots.
It means a lot just to be in here and surrounded by a whole bunch of support and love.
Yeah, I'll travel with y'all. Wherever y'all go, I'll follow us.
A total ATL team effort.
Shows that we support them, they support us, lets them know we're here for them.
The amount of support and the love that's spread around the city, somewhere that you will always want to be.
In Atlanta, Luke Hetrick, Rise Up Tonight.
It just warms your heart. All right, Sunday was the first time in 2023 the Falcons scored either a field goal or a touchdown in their final drive of the first half and their first drive of the second half. And as you wrote on your notebook this week on AtlantaFalcons.com, Tori, in a game that the Falcons won 13-8, those points really mattered, as you keep talking about. Middle eight really mattering.
Yeah, no, if you've been with me from the beginning, you know how important I find these 8 minutes to be. So important, in fact, that I crunched some numbers, and here's what I found. The Falcons have totaled 35 possessions in the middle eight, and of those drives, only 7 have ended in points. 6 field goals, 1 touchdown. That's more. What's more than that? 6 of those 35 drives have ended in a turnover. So for every scoring opportunity the Falcons have had in the middle eight this season, they've almost had a turnover to match it. So with 5 games left in the season, I want to see the Falcons be dominant in these moments.
Another opportunity to stack that this week. Well, there's plenty more prognostication where that came from. You know the drill. Tori and I giving our hot takes of the week. Still to come.
Plus, who doesn't love cheese? Learn how to craft the perfect charcuterie board with the charcuterie chick, Alex Plavin, next on Rise Up Tonight.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
Well, now that it's December, we are getting in the holiday spirit. We have a really fun and festive In the Nest tonight. Alex Plavin of Charcuterie Chick is with us. She's going to go through an amazing charcuterie board demo for us. But first, I just wanted to ask how you got into this, because I think this is a lot of people's dream.
Oh, absolutely. Who doesn't love cheese and charcuterie? I mean, It's the ultimate adult Lunchable. No, it's been really great. We've had the business for about 4 years or so. I think like a lot of businesses, we started during COVID. Found myself with a little bit more time, always grew up with entertaining and cooking. Shout out to my mom. And since then, really just enjoyed being able to have this creative outlet. So charcuterie just became a byproduct of that creative endeavor, and also just the cooking and entertaining at home.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's get creative. I know you're going to show us how to make a transportable charcuterie that you can either gift someone or maybe bring to a holiday party. So let's get started.
Absolutely. So we are getting all festive today. So all the reds and the greens. We were very intentional with some of the ingredients that you'll see, but also all those holiday flavors that you love to have. So first and foremost, love to start with any of our jams, containers, anything like that. First and foremost, we've got a really great strawberry jam here today. I love everything miniature, so that's always what I love to include on boards. So we're gonna pop that right into our tin right here. We're using just a fun little tin you can find pretty much anywhere. To Kelly's point, you can really transport it. Makes it for easy travel in the car or for the holidays. We're gonna have some fun then with the first set of ingredients, which is going to be our charcuterie, so the cured meats, and our cheeses. So I always love to work in like a rule of 3 in terms of choosing cheeses, but from there you can definitely have fun with different textures, structures, milks, taste, anything like that in terms of your selection.
Good tip.
So we've got some fun ones here. We've got a double cream brie, a truffle cheddar, we've got Gruyere, we have a cranberry Wensleydale, you'll see right here. So we're going to have some fun. Now, in terms of salami, I'm going to show you the really fun and festive way that you can actually style your salami. We've got your classic Genoa Italian salami here. You can use anything you want. I love the pre-slice just because you have options.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you the very fun way that you can actually style it. So I take a piece of my salami, I fold it right in half, and then I fold it into a fourth. So now we've got our little salami nugget or piece, and I continue to fold it. Now this is a therapeutic part of making a charcuterie board. I tell myself all the time that I'm going to count how many slices I've folded in my lifetime, but I lose track pretty quickly.
Right.
But in terms of selecting your meats, you can really have fun with it. I know a lot of people like prosciutto. That's a really fun option you can include in the holidays, but you also don't have to go too crazy if you don't want. I know some people are more cheese eaters, some are more meat eaters, so kind of just knowing your audience, whether or not you're hosting for your friends or your family. So I'm just going to fold a bunch of our salami. I'm going to add it right into our tin.
So is it you're going off of a feel of how many you want in here? Or
absolutely. No, that's a great question too. Yes, off visuals in terms of aesthetic and kind of what you're looking for, but also a good rule of thumb is 2 ounces of cheese and 1 ounce of cured meats for appetizer portions.
Okay.
And then doubling that for a meal portion. Now I will say, I'm one of those people that can probably eat an entire brie. So kind of the same vein, know your audience.
All right.
Now we get to have fun with our cheeses. Now I love to share the 3 C's. It's kind of part of our business. It's cut, crumble, and cube. So we're actually going to style our cheeses a few different fun ways. Okay. Some people like to cut it into these wedges or slices, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And now I think we're going to follow like the same kind of line.
Are you just improvising this?
Oh, I'm totally improvising this.
I'm just curious because do you have like a plan when you start, or does it just kind of like the creative juices just flow and you're like, this looks cool, I'm going to try this?
Absolutely, and I think that's a great question. So I definitely tend to improvise in terms of where I place cheeses. I like to follow the steps in terms of what I add at certain points, but the great thing about making a charcuterie board is first and foremost, it's always going to taste great at the end.
That's true.
And then second to that, you can definitely move things around. So that is our brie cheese. The next one one we kind of cut, we have our crumbles.
Okay.
So this Wesleydale's has a really fun texture to it. You can see actually it's a cranberry Wesleydale. It's a little bit sweeter. So if you love a sweet cheese, definitely recommend this. You don't need any fancy cheese knives or tools. What I'm just gonna do is take the tip of my knife and twist it right into the cheese. So I'm gonna get these huge chunks.
Nice.
Ready to go. Now our next couple cheeses are gonna be, our Gruyere,
okay,
and also our truffle. Now truffle, you can cube it very easily. I just, like I said, like to break down our harder cheeses just so it's a little bit more bite size. And what I like to do is just lean them and fan them right up against my salami.
Okay.
But you can place it wherever you like. Some people like to have them cut into thinner strips or cut them in half. Really a matter of your preference and your look that you're going for. It is totally up to you. I love to put the meats and the cheeses on the board first.
Okay.
Because that's the good stuff, right? That's what you want on the board, and really you can think of these other items as additive.
Okay.
Now, when we think about festive options, you can see we have a lot of red and green. So we've got strawberries, we've got green grapes, we've got cucumbers and radish, we've got raspberry, we've got little cornichons, which are the small pickles, and little olives. We've got so many different other options, dried fruits, different festive like little peppermint chocolates and barks.
Love
so
that.
you can definitely have fun with this. Now, traditionally you'll find some sort of meat, cheese, crunchy item and dip on your boards for charcuterie, but beyond that, have fun with it. So definitely the more the merrier. Of course, the more ingredients you have on your board, the more board bites you'll have. And then last but not least, just because I love to be extra.
Of course.
We have some fun little like toppers that we love to add for the holidays. So you can pretty much have fun with any of these. We've just got like a reindeer one and another one for Christmas, but you can see,
fine folks at home how adorable this looks.
Yeah, got all the reds, all the greens, so colorful, so many layers. It's very fun when you make a charcuterie board and there's more underneath.
Yeah.
It's always a fun surprise.
Yes,
So
this is a surprise for people who are going to be pulling this one apart.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
So you can definitely have fun with it, add whatever you like. Like I said, what makes it traditional is, of course, you add the cured meats and that will make it charcuterie. But aside from that, definitely have fun with what festive ingredients you like to include.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for showing us how to do this. I think this breaks it down to a lot of people who might be a little intimidated by putting something like this together by themselves and sourcing all the ingredients, having a shopping list. I feel like those are key tips as well. So thank you for sharing all that.
Absolutely.
Alex, thanks so much for joining us. For anyone who wants to catch the full demo and all of this interview, head to fox5atlanta.com. We'll post the full thing on there, and we'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
It's like I don't get caught up in whatever narrative is after 4 weeks of the daily narratives. You can almost write some of these narratives and live and die every week by the narratives. I don't use that lingo. That's the sensational line. It's like the scene with the dudes chasing the guy down from Happy Gilmore run to give away our scheme. What the hell is going on? Now you're really trying to put me on the hot seat here. Some narratives.
This isn't a narrative, this is a fact. Jesse Bates became the only NFL player with 5 or more picks and 3 or more forced fumbles this season. I would say no notes, Jesse, except you didn't get me the pick 6 I predicted.
Meanwhile, Jesse's probably like, Kelly, what more do you want from me?
He's really carrying everything on his back. So the last time the Falcons played the Bucs, Bijan Robinson was battling a massive migraine, and that game was a bit of a headache for both sides. Both teams combining for just 1 for 7 in the red zone. Tons of turnovers, a whole mess, y'all. Both squads look a lot different now, but as we talked about earlier, having number 7 this time will help this ground game really take off for Atlanta. After just 90 yards rushing on Sunday, I think the ground game goes off against Tampa, especially because the Bucs are paper thin at linebacker due to injuries right now. Sounds like it's time for this backfield to eat.
All right, let's stick with the offense a little longer for my hot take too. Desmond Ridder took a lot of heat for his performance the last time the Falcons faced the Bucs. 3 turnovers inside the 20, 2 on the 1-yard line. So I get it, and I think Des does too. But if there's one thing I can say about Desmond Ridder, it's that he knows how to step up when his back is up against the wall. So my hot take, there's a certain redemption to be had for Desmond Ridder this Sunday against the Bucs.
I like that, and I think Ridder would agree with you there. Falcons haven't won 3 in a row since Arthur Smith has been at the helm, haven't won 2 in a row since the beginning of the season, so we'll see if they can continue the winning streak on Sunday. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. For Tori McElhaney, I'm Kelly Price. Have a great night.